All right, so I said we were going to have a big tool giveaway this week, and that's what's going to happen. I will explain the details later in the video, so stick around for that. All right, so first up, we're going to take a look at last week's mystery tools. Then we're going to take a sneak peek at next week's mystery tools. Then I want to share a couple unique old tools with you and then solicit some opinions about this AVE knife here. And then we will go over the details of the big tool giveaway. All right, so I got to say, you guys are really killing it lately, nailing all these tools right out of the gate, especially with these two here. This one was probably the easiest of last week. Yes, it's a watch back removal tool. I'm missing the little pins that go in these guys to set up for different types of watch backs, but that is going in the giveaway. Next, we'll go ahead and talk about this one next. And somebody had pointed out that I had left the weight off of here. Oh, yeah, this is a hanging scale, and I'll explain how it works here in a second. But I think it was Dave Lorge, and I really wish I could take credit for that. It just didn't have it on there. That was very observant of you, but yeah, it wasn't me. And I'll throw a quick photo up here of how I presented this last week. When I was messing around with this thing today, I realized that this guy was in the wrong spot. It was pinned up here instead of down here. So it's not really in usable shape, especially since I don't have the hanging weight that goes with it. But yes, it's a hanging scale. And the way this one works, it can hang via this hook or this hook, and this guy here, this longer one, is our actual weight. Whatever you want to measure hangs from that one. But one of the scales is from 1 through 10, and I think it was Dave or somebody had mentioned this exact thing, which I was impressed. I did not know this. I had to research it myself. There's a scale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way out to 10 on one side. And that would be for this forward hook. You know, it would take a little bit less weight with the leverage there. Now, what you do is you flip this guy over. Now it hangs from this hook, and you see it's closer to the fulcrum where it's hanging. So now the scale goes from 10. Let's see if I can get some good light in there. 10 pounds, 20. 30, 40, 50, or something like that. Or no, I'm sorry, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, all the way out to 50 pounds. Simply because where it hangs now takes more weight to get it to operate. So really, really neat, old school, kind of dummy proof almost, unless you put the hooks on in the wrong orientation. This guy's going to be a wall hanger for me. I really like that thing. This one, kind of easy just to guess. Yes, these are wire strippers, and they're for big wire, you know, like single gauge and bigger. This is a Thomas & Betts brand. There's a patent specifically for this stripper hook here, which is just for slipping or slide cutting the exterior lengthwise. And I'll show you that here in a second. Let's do a quick demo on it. So this is 2-aught. So 200, 2-aught, double-aught copper cable, copper wire. Some big old Greenlee wire cutters. These guys are monsters, and they cut through stuff like this like it's not even there. No problem. You can set your gauge here. This little white line would match up. So I'm going to set it where it's... So it starts at 4-aught, 40, bring it back 3-aught, 2-aught, and that's where we're going to set it. And this is just an initial setting to get you close. Once you get it close, you go ahead and check it, diameter like that. You should not be hitting the actual wire. It should only go through. So we're a little tight right now. Open it up just a smidge, check it again. Still hitting. And the instructions, I'll actually put a picture up here of the instructions. I was able to find those and download those. A little further, the instructions actually say it's okay to leave a very thin layer. Okay, so now we got the depth set. Go ahead and run our lock nut down. And this one, the washer in there is supposed to be a rubber washer, and it's deteriorated and gone. You can see what's left of it. Anyway, so get to there. And that's it. That's all it's for. You get it close like that, and then that's where this cool little slide hook comes in. Push that out, grab onto it, Give her a good yank. Ugh, it's hard to do like that. And it's even got these little gripper teeth on the end, well, to grab onto the sheathing and pinch it off. See how it just broke loose? And that's what they are. I'm really shocked at how expensive these things are. Some sites have them for over $300. A pair like this on Fleabay, you can get them for about 50 bucks, ballpark. It's pretty rare that I have to do anything like this. When I wired the barn, I used triple aught aluminum to wire in the main panel. And something like that would have been handy. But for only doing a couple wires a year, don't really need something like this. A utility knife will work just fine. So again, great job on those. I appreciate everybody playing my little game here. Let's move on to next week's stuff. I've got 3 items for next week. We'll start off with these guys, and I actually just used these the other day. So go ahead and take a look. They're both the same tool. So if you got any idea what this is used for, most everybody knows the drill by now. Moving on, we'll do this one next. I just think this one's really cool. Old and cool. And I get asked a lot, lots and lots. It's probably my most asked question is, where do I find all of this crazy old stuff? Auctions, garage sales, estate sales, you name it. This might give it away a little bit, but see if the thing can focus on this stupid thing. There we go. Look at that. So that ought to help somebody out there figure out what this is. Now this one might be a stumper. That's what it looks like in there. There's 3 different sections here, 3 different tubes. Very fragile. Okay, look at that. There's nothing in this tube. I'm probably missing something. Got 3 of these glass tubes. And you know what? I'll even show that. Come on. There we go. Maybe that'll help somebody out. So we got 3 of these glass tubes. They're weighted. All right. So those are our 3 mystery tools for next week. I got to get these repackaged. I don't want these floating around out here. Okay, now a couple things I want to take a quick look at. I guess first, these guys were somewhere in my first year of this video and or doing this series. And just today, it's kind of crazy. I can't believe today makes my 125th mystery tool episode. Now, in the beginning, I was doing a lot of shorts. And a lot of 2-part ones, kind of like Mr. Pete does, a question and an answer. Now I do one of each per video. But this was one of them, and I still had it in my stumper pile. And I saw an ad the other day, or a video. Yeah, a video. Somebody else had made a custom pair similar to this, and they used them for valve stem guide pliers. And I'm going to call these ones solved. I think these are valve stem guide pliers, homemade valve stem guide pliers. These Klein pliers are just Crescent pliers are just standard needle nose pliers, at least according to the part number on it. So they're definitely custom made. And yeah, I think that's what they are. So these will go into the completed bucket. This guy here was what caused me to start the mystery tool. I started off with mystery tool Monday, but now we're thingamajigger Thursday. But this was my first mystery tool. And I just figured I'd bring it back up, you know. Got a whole bunch of new viewers nowadays. I still don't know what it is. I mean, I got an idea of what it is, but not specifically. You know, like you see a hammer, you can see the shape, and know it's a hammer, but you don't know what kind of hammer. Is it a mason hammer? Is it a framer's hammer? Is it a jeweler's hammer? A rock hammer? Who knows? This appears to be a puller of some sort, but we have not been able to identify exactly what for, who made it, that kind of thing. It appears to collapse like that. It can screw in and out. There we go. And then it has these little ramped legs down here. See how they're angled? So it looks like it should be able to slide into a certain diameter. Then as you wrench this side down, it pushes out on those feet. By pushing here, it pushes down, pushing out on these angled feet, grabbing onto whatever it's supposed to grab onto. And I would imagine you just run it down till it's snug, like almost like a bearing race, you know, like an inside bearing race. And then somehow or another you would grab onto it. And I don't know if maybe that's what these guide rails were for, or if this is even part of it. This was just in it when I got it. So there we go. And I'll keep bringing it up every now and again just to see if anybody's got a clue on what it might be for, or who made it, the specific application. Moving on, you saw the little Ford symbol on this thing. I found this in a pail of old drill bits right in between my fingers there. Hopefully this dumb camera, there we go. A Ford drill bit. Couldn't believe it. So this has just been on my workbench for years now, just hanging out. And then this guy, I actually have two wrenches. Well, I got a whole bucket of wrenches like this, and this one I'm going to put in the giveaway pile. These retail on Fleabay for anywhere from 20 to 40 bucks as is. It looks like the top of it here is a little bit of a tweak, but it's still in working order. I'm sure it wouldn't take nothing but put it in a vise and knock it straight. But this is going to go in the giveaway. This is a number 9 auto, and you can look that up on Fleabay. This one, though, I'm keeping because of that. I really like these cool old Ford, or any manufacturer's tool, Ford, International, that kind of stuff, Massey Ferguson. I just think it's really, really neat. So I'll be keeping those guys, but just thought I'd share them with you. All right, now moving on to my AVE knife, hoping to solicit a little thought, you know, get some ideas out there. I've been working on trying to get a pocket clip on this bugger. I ordered a handful of different clips right off of Amazon. And, you know, they look nice, and for the right knife, I'm sure they'd be great. But for this one, with all these recesses in the outer scale, it kind of makes it tough to find a good mounting point. And on top of that, the screws that are used in these itty-bitty tiny little number 1s, number 2s, number 3s, or metric. The smallest tap that I have is a 0x80, I think. But I don't have screws for that. At least I don't think I do. At least not in any organized manner. The number 2, I have the next smallest tap I have is a number 2x86 or whatever it is, number 2x64, I think. And I do have a couple screws that fit that, and I was originally thinking I wanted a wire clip. So I fashioned this one out of just some fencing wire. And my idea was to get it right in one of those little cutouts that's already there. Right there. I bent this one to fit right in that cutout. And then I was going to drill and tap a hole on each side and screw that bugger right in there. But after I fashion this thing up, even if I were to flatten it out quite a bit, it's still right in the way of where that thumb button's going to be. So I was thinking the back side, but then it just kind of sticks out funky and all that. And my goal was to get the screws in this thick layer. That way I got a little bit of meat in there for threads. So I don't like either of those. My next idea was to take actually this is a scraper. And I was going to take this, I already took the heat treat out of this scraper in preparation for this, and this is the basic shape of the clip. I was going to wrap it around the side here, in between two screw holes here, drill and mount it right there, and then have the clip itself hanging off the back like that. Obviously it'd be shaped with a little bit of a wave in there. And then I got to thinking, I don't like that either. I'm running out of ideas. I came up with one this morning, or I'm sorry, yesterday morning, watching the kid open presents. I don't know why. But I was thinking what I could do is keep the clip on the back, but I could cut out part of this thick inner guide or scale or spacer, cut out a small section of it right in there, grind, cut, whatever. I'd like ideally to get it through two screw holes, so maybe down to about here, and just grind a small layer off of it so that I could take a piece of metal, set it in there, stack it in that layer, and then when it comes out, it would wrap up, around, and down as the clip. And ideally, if it worked out perfectly, where right there is the center, then I could have the clip on the back or the front. So depending on how and where you carry it, for me, I like to carry this with the button side sticking out in a side pocket of my pants, a cargo pocket, like a cargo pocket. So I don't know. I'd really like to hear everybody's thoughts and ideas on that. That's kind of where I'm leaning right now. I've been racking my brain for a few weeks. I know another viewer sent me an email, and I appreciate it. I'm gonna keep working through this. And the reason why this is becoming a big deal is with all of these layers, this isn't like a regular knife where everything's locked in place. Yes, there's screws, but there's just enough slop where when it drops, which this happened to me just the other day, I was sitting on a bench seat or a bar stool here in the barn. It slipped out of that pocket and fell on the floor and landed right on a corner, and then all the scales slid. And when that happened, I couldn't move the blade anymore. So basically, if you ever drop this, which is a tool, it's going to get dropped, it's going to get tossed, whatever, all of a sudden it binds up and you can't do anything about it. So that's why this is becoming so important to me. So again, I appreciate any and all thoughts and ideas on this. I know a lot of people that watch my videos on just this knife mention, because this thing is expensive. You're looking at $100 for this DIY IKEA kit of a knife, and it takes a lot of work, a lot of cleaning to get it to look like this and feel like this. I've done tons and tons, hours of sanding and smoothing and heat treating and polishing. And yeah, I could buy probably 30 Olfa blade holders for what I've got into this one, but this is unique. Nobody else has one, it's AVE unique. So that is what it is. Everybody, has their own thing for that, and I like having cool, unique, different stuff. And a new favorite thing I'm going to share this week. My uncle turned me on to these just the other week, and it's just an outlet with a switch. How freaking cool is that? I've got a couple lights wired up overhead that the cord that came with the light was too short, so I hardwired it to just an outlet, and I plug it in and unplug it to turn the thing on and off, which that's hard on the outlet, it's hard on the overhead light. This is so freaking cool. You can get these at Home Depot for $2.98, and super handy. So if you got things that you plug in and unplug to turn on and off, this is the way to go. All right, moving on. All right, so here is our tool giveaway, and I'm going to do it a little bit different this time. Before I get into the details, I just want to put out a big thanks. This has been a big year for me. I crossed over 2,000 subscribers and then hit over 3,000 subscribers just a few weeks ago. I really appreciate it. I fully welcome feedback for myself, the channel. I know a lot of times I get to just a rambling. I hear it from the kid and the wife all the time, so please let me know if there's anything you think I could do to make the channel better, more entertaining, different types of content. I'm all ears. I'm all about it. I love this kind of stuff. And with all that said, I really appreciate especially my usual commenters. Sir Mister, right from the beginning, you were one of the first regulars for me. I really appreciate it. Rob Bacon, Dave Lors, Robert Hoffman, just a few off the top of my head. I really appreciate everybody. a Curtis. I remember a Curtis in there somewhere too. So thanks again, everybody. I really appreciate it. I hope you have had a happy or Merry Christmas yesterday and a Happy New Year coming up. We will hold the drawing for this on, it's a couple days, whatever next Thursday is. It's a couple days after the New Year. So first video of 2025 will be of the big giveaway. Now, about the giveaway, obviously what I say here to tell you how it's going to go is part of it, but check the description box. I will have it spelled out what you need to do to enter into the giveaway. All right, so check the description box. I've got a bunch of different stuff here. Lots of things are just extras. I'll go over real quick some of the differences just so that you know. But what I'm going to do is take an overhead photo of this and then number everything, okay? And between now and next Tuesday, the last day of the year, I think it's Tuesday, I'll double check that, but whatever the last day of the year is, that is your time limit to enter into the drawing. And what I'm going to do is, if anybody wants anything in particular of this group, and like I said, you'll be able to pick it out on the overhead shot, put enter me in the comment section, put enter me, and then the number of the item that you want. And if nobody else asks for that same item, it's just yours. I'll just, email me at twosykers@gmail.com. I will just toss it in the mail and get it to you. If more than one person requests any single item, we'll hold a separate drawing for it, and whoever wins, same as usual. Like I said, check the description box for the exact details. Anything that isn't claimed separately, individually, will go into a collective group, all right? And whoever just says enter me without a number or a specific request, those people will be entered into the drawing of whatever is left, all right? You cannot ask to be, well, if you win, so what we'll do is, if you enter into one of the individual drawings and you win, you can no longer be entered into the big drawing for the remainder of the tools, all right? So basically, you can only win once, all right? So by putting enter me, I will enter you into the big drawing. If you put enter me with a number of whatever is out here, then you'll be entered first into the individual drawing. If you lose that, then you will go into the pot for the rest of them, all right? So that's how we'll do it. Again, please check the description box for exact details. Again, you need to put enter me into the description box or the comment section, and you need to do it before the end of 2024. All right, so that's how the drawing is going to work. We have the dental drill, the old school cable driven or rope driven dental drill. We've got this micronome or microtome blade in its original box. I've got 3 different of these rules, a Lufkin, well, 2 Lufkins, wooden style, and 1 aluminum style Lufkin ruler. We've got the old, really crazy looking piston ring groove cleaner. A lot of these other ones you've seen over the past few months, the piston ring filer, gap filer, different pliers. This is a valve guide or a valve grinder, old school valve grinder. Got these old crimp pliers here, these itty bitty little guys, all sorts of random stuff. These, I got 2 pairs of these, so I'm just gonna throw one of them in here. These are adjustable, flat wrench. It's gear driven, but just really cool stuff. These we haven't done a specific video about. These are just some old the clip pliers, but anyway, got some old clip pliers here. So this is the pile. Again, please check the description. I can't say that enough. That is the rules. If you don't get entered by the first or before the first, sorry, you can't play. That's just how I got to do it. I got to have time to get everything set up. So that gives everybody at least a week to get entered. If you see this video for the first time after that point, sorry, I gotta follow by the same rules. So, all right, hey, again, I appreciate everybody watching. I appreciate everybody's comments. I look forward to interactions. I look forward to next year. Hopefully it's better than the past 4 years, right? And thanks again. Have a great weekend. Be safe out there, and we'll see you next Thursday. Actually, we'll see you next year.